Next up, at UFC 304, we have the insanely tall Sam Patterson taking on Kiefer Crosbie. Sam Patterson, 11-2 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5. He is coming off the first UFC win of his career. Taking on Kiefer Crosbie, 10-4 in his career, 2-3 in his last 5. He's coming off that submission loss in his UFC debut. These are welterweights. These are 170 pounders. For reference, these guys are significantly larger than Jacob, but they're not very large. That's why it's insane.
Hold on. Excuse me. Catherine, did you hear that?
That you're small? Oh, that I made fun of you? That's why it's particularly crazy that Sam Patterson is 6'4". He's 6'4" at 170 pounds. He does not use that length really well on the feet while striking, but he does use it really well on the ground. On the feet, his boxing is accurate because he is so long. He can generate power, right? The amount of time it takes for those strikes to get there, they can start to get some juice going. His takedown defense does need some work, but as I mentioned, his length is very well used on the ground. He's going to wrap things up, look for those long guy submissions. He is coming off that submission win over Johan Lioness back in January. He's taking on Kiefer Crosbie. Kiefer Crosbie's not particularly technical, but he is aggressive. He comes forward. He lets his hands go. He sets a nice pace early. He will make adjustments mid-fight if he needs to, but he does have a lot of striking experience. But the odd part is with all that professional striking and the striking experience he gets wild. His defense, not really there. He gets hit. His offense is definitely something you need to worry about if you're on the other side. Not a grappler by trade, but he will work in a takedown or two if he needs to. He can hang in the grappling department, but he did just get submitted by Kevin Josette. And before I give the pick, I just want to pause and remind everybody what happened the last time Sam Patterson was a massive favorite. I think the odds were very similar to this, and he was a huge favorite against Yanal Ashwaz in his UFC debut. And I said, this dude gets hit way too often, and a guy like Yanal is just going to come forward and swing wild.
And that's what happened. Yanal.
There we go. And that's what happened. He got clipped and he got put out. And this is the exact same type situation. I'm not picking Kiefer here because Kiefer is not nearly as defensively sound as Yanal is. And I think Sam probably learned a very valuable lesson in that fight. But Sam can be hittable. And Kiefer has no hesitations. He will just come forward and bomb away. I'm going to pick Sam Patterson because I think he's the better fighter. And I don't know if Kiefer is going to connect, but you just can't bet on Sam Patterson. We watched him get knocked out against the guy who moved forward and just bombed overhands, and that's exactly what Kiefer's going to do. I'm just hoping, and I do think this happened, that Sam learned from that mistake, and he's going to look to grapple, get it against the cage, slow the pace, do anything other than stand there and try to bang it out with this guy. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, that breakdown was absolutely perfect. You got all the way to the finish line, and it seems like you caught your period. I don't know what happened, but get the tampon out. Let's kind of man up here. I'm going to go the next step. We see the same vision. If this is on the feet, I think Sam Patterson is a fucking horrific striker. Terrible defensive striker. His jab is slow. He can't do anything. You saw Kevin Josette kind of set everything up with his jab. Very fast jab that was really giving Kiefer issues. Sam Patterson's not going to have the same speed. And when he throws it out lazy. His chin goes back. On the feet, every second on the feet is going to favor Kiefer in this fight. Now, I'm picking Kiefer because I'm going to go that extra step because I just can't stand Sam Patterson as a striker. I bet Kiefer. WeWonPicks.com. I'm not going to tell you what that bet is, but I did bet Kiefer. So I pick him, I bet him, but I understand that if this fight goes to the ground at all, he's going to get smoked. I mean, that's what Sam Patterson wants to do. He's a big, long guy. He's kind of a tarantula down there. If it goes to the ground at all in any scramble, Kiefer's probably going to get fucking smoked. So while I'm picking him, while I'm betting him, I understand the dangers that possess in this fight for Kiefer. So it's a pick, it's a bet, but I'm being, it's not a high confidence play. I understand that he can get smoked on the ground, but I think he's going to knock this dude out.
Yeah, I mean, I was teasing that, like, in my head, like, should I? I didn't quite pull the trigger because I do think Sam learned the lesson.
Your period.
No, I think he learned the lesson. You get knocked out.
So you agree you do have a period, you're just not on it.
I think you get knocked out in your UFC debut and you learn a lesson or two. next time you're fighting a dangerous striker. So I think he'll make the adjustments, but you can't bet on him. Not at those odds. That's just absolutely insane. You going to spend the $6,900 in DraftKings, or you think that's still a little risky yourself?
Someone said, I'm surprised Catherine left the chat. This is definitely the most male attention she's gotten in her lifetime.
See, no, we're not going to do toxic chat. That's not what we're going to do. You are welcome here, Catherine. And I appreciate you sticking up for me. He is an insecure little man.
Yeah, she didn't say anything after you made fun of me. Kind of turned the world upside down.
You're going to spend the $6,900 on Kiefer. What a wild name, Kiefer. I know Kiefer Sutherland is somebody, but like Kiefer.
I grew up with a kid. He was like our star of football, whatever, as a kid. Obviously, I don't know what he turned into, but his first name was Trib. Trib.
That's not short for Tribbiani?
Just Trib, baby.
Trib is crazy. Trib is crazy. What else is crazy is some of these people are onto something. Next time Jacob runs his mouth, just show him the belt. The belt he's referring to is Jacob and I fist fought, and I beat him up, and I won the belt that was donated by Dr. Y. And Jacob just has a short memory. He continues to forget what happened to him that
literally
day.
Everyone in the chat that watched that fight.
Had you ever bled in your entire life
Why
before
won't you
that
let me
fight?
ask the question? Because you're scared of what they're going to say. Everyone just let us know in the chat right now who won the fight. It's very easy. By the way, are we done with this breakdown now?
Become a premium member. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. It's only $10. You will unlock the greatest tool that has ever been released in this sport. Go ahead.
You like how I did that for you, too.
Thank you so much.
We should do something at Charles Johnson's event.
Where is it?
We need to figure it out. It's in St. Louis, which is just a short drive.
I saw he was
but he's doing, I think it's like pillow fights and slap fights. But I think it'd be fun to go, and we should talk to him about either being a sponsor or me and you do something with it or something with our, we could do a meetup there or something. We should talk to him about it because, well, actually, you should formulate a plan that I will talk to him because he fucking hates you. He fucking hates you. He fucking hates you. He loves me for good reason.
It is what it is.
I
Jacob
think
and
it's
I
in
fist
November.
fought. We should do something. Jacob and I did fist fight. If you want to watch that video, you can watch it. It's on the channel somewhere. It's called like The Fight or We Fought. Something like that. It's nothing.
It's called Angelo Cried, but it's going to be okay or something like that.
Yeah, that's not really how that went down, is it? Have you ever bled before February 9th, 2024? Did you ever have a nosebleed?
I don't bleed once a month like you.
So that's a no. On February 9th, 2024, did you have a nosebleed?
Angelo, and I don't.
That's
Jesus, man.
Let's
No,
go ahead.
I mean, let me talk about this because, and I didn't. But you keep pressing the issue, and that's like your big sticking point. It's like, oh, I made him bleed or whatever.
You said
it
that.
was. Then let me get to this because I think it needs to get out there, and people are going to think I'm joking or whatever. But this is 100% serious. Before we started, I stuck a couple blood gel packs up my nose.
Okay, yeah.
Because I wanted I didn't want to tell you this. I wanted you to feel good about yourself as well. But for the video, to make it like extreme and they're actually fighting, I put some blood gel caps up my nose. So yes, Angelo, I was bleeding out of my nose.
Let's run it back.
Congratulations.
Any rule set you want, we'll run it back. We got to move on.